welcome to a very rough tutorial. We are going to be looking at Etherscan, etherscan.io. I'm going to bring you guys through and briefly explain everything there is for a beginner to know. So, this is Etherscan. What is Etherscan? Etherscan is the number one blockchain explorer for the Ethereum network, right? So most people in the beginning of their cryptocurrency journey usually talk about Bitcoin, but Ethereum is a little bit different, far more interesting in terms of application, and this is the main blockchain explorer that's used around the world, right? So what is a blockchain explorer? Well, all transactions are recorded on the blockchain. This explorer will help you look at all the details that you need to know, right, if you want to research and understand the blockchain better. Let's go from the top to the bottom, right? So the first top here is the logo of Etherscan. If you click on it, it will just bring you to the home page, right? So wherever you are, just click on the top left-hand corner. The name is here, or rather what the title is. Now, there are some search addresses, excuse me, search address bar over here, which you can type in. They've also got their sponsored links here by their sponsors. Their advertising sponsored links. So you can pay to advertise your company here. Most of the time, it's all just cryptocurrency-based companies, right? You can also filter if you want to filter by, you want to search addresses, specific tokens, name tags, labels, websites, and so on, right? So I'm just going to put on all. It's just easier. So you can search for addresses here, for example. Let me give you an example of an Ethereum address, right? So I'm using the Brave browser, and I actually do have a wallet. Where is my wallet? I believe it's under my settings. So if I go to settings, I will be able to access my crypto wallet, which was created in Brave. Right? It looks very similar, basically looks like MetaMask, right? It's on the main Ethereum network. Right? There are a bunch of other networks we won't talk about, but on the main Ethereum network. So if it's on the Ethereum network, therefore this block explorer should be able to search it, right? So if I click here, I'm going to copy it to clipboard, paste my address here, and let's see what comes out, right? So this is searching my address, my wallet address. So it's going to tell me all the money I have in my wallet. As you can see, it says there are no matching entries because I have zero, right? So this is my address, right? But I don't have any money in it. As you can see, this is accurate, right? 0 ETH, 0 BAT, there's nothing here. So that's fine. I mean, that's just showing me that there's nothing there. This is how you would search. And if you had an address which had money, you'd see a list of transactions here, which show you the money coming in, right? Let's go back to the home page. Okay, so now that we've looked at that, how to search for an address, later on I'll show you how to search for other things as well. Actually, why don't we use an example? So let's go to CoinGecko, another top website, right? Both Etherscan and CoinGecko are Malaysian-based websites, which are really great, because I'm from Malaysia too. Okay, so let's look at, for example, let's look at a token that is on the Ethereum network. So one of the tokens that I particularly like is called Link. Link is what is known as an oracle. So Link is an Ethereum-based token, right? And let's, if I click here on Explorer, right, it will actually open the Chainlink token contract, right? So this is what is known as a token contract, right? Copy this address. Similar, right? Looks similar to what you saw earlier as my wallet address, right? My wallet address looks similar, but it's different in the sense that this points towards the direction of a token, in this case Chainlink. So let's just close that. If I click search, it will produce the same page, right? Contract token for Chainlink, as you can see here. The public name is Chainlink. Link is the name of the token, right? So the difference between this and a wallet is that this refers to a smart contract, right? You know, if you're not familiar with the term smart contract, it basically means a program that's running on Ethereum. Whereas earlier on, I used my wallet address, right, to point to my wallet. Right? So yeah, these are all the transactions between the smart contract and other users. All right, we won't go into the details of that. Essentially, that's how you search for a smart contract. Always use a reputable website like CoinGecko, so that you always get the correct links. Oops. Okay, so that's the searching bar, right? So anything to do with Ethereum, you can search for it here, right? Let's go down further. So Ethereum price, right? So Ethereum price is $1,926 as of now. It's down by negative 10%, right? The market is currently in a bit of a bearish trend. I think people are dumping, but that's okay. I mean, we remain diamond hands all the way, right? So if I click on this, you can view the historical Ethereum price, right? Ether daily prices USD chart. Now it looks very cramped, right, in the corner, and I mean over here it's fine, you can see it, and very cramped over here. So what you can do is you can actually zoom in by pulling your mouse, and then it just zooms in, right? So this is from April to June. So I can see the price going up and going down. Reset the zoom. Let's say I want to pull it in further. Let's say so from July this year to July last year. So this is over 1 year, and you can see the price of Ethereum just shooting up sky high around May, 4,000 Ethereum. It's since dropped quite a fair bit, right, to about 2,000 or so. And that's okay. I mean, Ethereum, I believe, will continue to grow. That's just my personal belief. Do your own research to find out, right? So this is some of the blockchain data that you can look at. Look at the bull run years ago. So at the height of it was about 1,000, 1,300 something, right? Today we're at 1,900, so just above that price. Let's go back to the home page. Right, so the price is dropping. Well, that's fine. Okay, what else can we look at? Market cap. So market capitalize. The word cap here stands for capitalization, right? What it means is that if you were to take all the Ethereum available in the market today and multiply it by 1,927, you'd get this number, right? How big is this number? 369, so 224 billion, 4,196,273, right? So the whole market cap is 224 billion, right? The whole value of Ethereum, right, as a whole is 224 billion. Transactions, right, 15.2 transactions per second, right? Total transaction counter is 1,180 million, if I'm not mistaken. 1.180.38 million. So it's a lot of transactions. Okay, medium gas price. I'll talk about that in a minute. Can I click on this? Yeah, this is clickable. Right, so you can look at, okay, well, this is all the transactions which are happening right now, right, as we speak, 18 seconds ago, right, oh, this was 18 seconds ago, and you can look at the records, and the pages go back, I think the limit they'll show is about 10,000, right, there are more than one, okay, there are a lot of transactions, basically, it shows you the last 500,000 records, okay, that's just a lot, right, a lot of transactions, every second, as we're talking, thousands and thousands of transactions. A fun way of visualizing transactions is to go to a website called TXT Street, and you can actually see, it's called Transaction Street, you can actually visualize the transaction. So oftentimes, if you see here, it's all just numbers and codes and numbers and stuff, so it can be quite confusing. If you look at it here, this is a lot more visual, right? So on this side, this is the Ethereum side. Let's close this for a moment. Okay, and you can see the transactions which are being processed. Ethereum last about 24 seconds ago. Look at all the transactions coming in. Those who didn't pay high fees, they're all stuck here, right? Look at that. Wow, that's a lot. Right? So those who pay normal fees, they're moving through quite quickly. And on this side is the Bitcoin side. Right? The Bitcoin side, the Ethereum side. You can see Bitcoin. There are still transactions, not as frequent, right? A lot more transactions happening on the Ethereum side, right? A lot faster. So that's a visualization of what we're looking at here, right? Just to visualize it, in case this can get rather confusing. Okay, difficulty is how, as the name suggests, how much more difficult it becomes for the computers or the miners' computers to mine on the network. So over the past few months, you can see the difficulty is increasing, right? Which is a good thing, right? It shouldn't get too easy, because if it's too easy, then you reduce network security. It's good that it's difficult. Because that increases the level of security and the work that's needed, right, to add a block into the blockchain, right? I'm not so familiar with the measurement value, TH, but essentially you can look at the numbers, let's look at the chart as well, right? Let's talk about gas price. So gas price is fun to talk about. Low, average, and high. First of all, always ignore the low price. Why? Because if you use the low price, you will be stuck forever. As you saw in the earlier visualization, those who don't pay those who pay low prices, oftentimes their transaction can get stuck for, if not for hours, for days at times, right? There's the average price is what most people use, and also a high price. So if you pay more, your transaction goes faster, right? So thankfully, the prices are fairly low, right? These are fairly low prices historically, right? And they're constantly being updated every few seconds, every 10 seconds, I think. So, which is great. Okay, so you can read more about that. These are all the different fees to the different addresses that people are using. Right? Uniswap, Tether, OpenSea, that's NFT website, Mask, XE, Ronin, right? And yeah, how much people are using them, right? For the past 3 hours, 14% of transactions were on Uniswap, which is not unusual because prices are really cheap. So everybody's using Uniswap to do their transactions. Okay. Anyway, what you just need to keep in mind is that if you want your transactions faster, choose high. Average is also acceptable. And you can see here, it takes only 30 seconds. Whereas if you use average, it takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And low is 10 minutes, 2 seconds. But actually, this is slightly misleading because oftentimes people actually find that the transactions just get stuck, right? Especially if it's a bull market and prices are going up. Okay. Ethereum transaction history in 14 days, 1,300. Not sure how you read this view detail chart. Let's look at that. Highest number of transactions was 1,716,600 on May 9th. Right? Lowest number of transactions was 1,329 on 2015. Okay, so we've come a long way. Right? We've come a long way. You can see all the daily transactions here recorded. Again, I believe you can also zoom in. Zoom in and look at the transactions, right? So lots of transactions, basically. I think that's what we can take away. Over time, it's just been growing since the bull run all the way until now. We're reaching the same heights as we did in the previous bull run. Funnily enough, we are in a slightly bearish market, but we are reaching the peaks of the previous bull run. So things are going to get interesting. All right, that's pretty much it for all the information that's here, general information. Here you can see the latest blocks, right? So if you understand how cryptocurrency works, they work in terms of mining of blocks, proof of work, right? So Ethereum is currently based on proof of work. They're going to be upgrading it to proof of stake. To understand how block mining works, you can use this Anders Brown website. Blockchain. I forgot the exact name. Anders Brownworth, right? Anders Brownworth. So this is based on the. This is of course Ethereum blocks. This is a blockchain demo using the Bitcoin, sort of like it refers to the Bitcoin blockchain. But as you can see here, these are blocks, right? So if you had data, there's a data here. I click mine, right? This word mining, and it's mining the block. It takes some time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Still mining, all right? Still mining. So this is kind of how it simulates how a blockchain mines data and then continues adding blocks. Almost crashed my Brave browser. But yeah, so this is just a simulation. And when it's mined, it turns green. And then you can add some data here. And then this one will mine. And then this one. I won't go into the details of it. But essentially, every time a block is created, this is what is being referred to here. So 17 seconds ago, that block that you saw earlier is now being created here. Right? All the blocks here. Right? Who the miner was, Sparkpool, Evion, Sparkpool. And sometimes it's just an address. Right? They don't have a specific name. How many transactions were in that block? 168, 305, 137, and how much ETH is over here. So this is the payment that they receive in ETH as a reward for mining the blocks, right? So in Bitcoin, in Bitcoin you get 6.25 Bitcoin currently per block. In Ethereum you get 2.8, around approximately 2.5, 2.6, around there, 2 point something Ethereums per block that you mine, right? That's all controlled by the blockchain itself. So actually, let's look at the blocks, right? So if I actually go here, let's click on the block, right? So this is the block 1267920, right? So this block, you can actually look at all the details in this block. It was mined 1 minute ago, 411 transactions inside of it, 771 contract internal transactions. It was mined by flexipool.io in 3 seconds. Pretty quick. All right, the block reward is paid to the miner. Uncles, what is an uncle? An uncle is a block that is stale, right? We call these, it's basically a block that it's purposeless. It doesn't really have, the transactions there have already been confirmed in another block, right? So it's known as a stale block or an orphan block. But you do get rewarded if you include these in, right? Because the more blocks you have, the greater the network security, even though these blocks have already probably been mined here, right? These are just sort of like leftover blocks, which are not really used. The difficulty level, total difficulty of the chain until this block, right? So this is the difficulty of mining the specific block. This is the difficulty of the entire Ethereum blockchain up until the point before this block. Right? The size of the block, 63 megabytes. Gas that was used gas limit. So gas limit is the total amount of gas, maximum amount of gas that users had set, right, for all the transactions. So all the 411 transactions is the maximum amount that they set. And of this maximum amount, 99.94% was used, right? Any remainder gas, if I'm not mistaken, is returned back to the users, right? To the users. If by any chance you set a higher limit, it wasn't used, right? So for example, you set a limit of, let's say, 15,000. Actually, no, let's begin. Let's say 30,000. 30,000. Oops. But in the end, they only needed 29,000 to run your transaction. So you have a 1K gas which will then be returned to you, right? Extra data, I'm not too familiar with this one. Hash, these are all to do with the SHA, triangles, and so on. So all of this hash and nonce is actually, if you remember the blockchain demo that I showed you earlier, see the words here? Nonce, hash, right? This is based on Bitcoin, but essentially it follows the same sort of like understanding, right? These are all used with regards to mining, right? Which I won't go into detail today. Okay, all the data is there, right? So it's good that blockchain and cryptocurrencies, everything is transparent. No comments made. People can actually give comments, right? If they wanted to, like, hey, I'm in this block, right? I guess you could comment something if you wanted to. Okay, let's go back to the home page. Talk about blocks, the miners are all here. Latest transactions. So these are individual transactions, right? These are blocks which contain a bunch of transactions in each block, right? So as we saw in earlier in one block, 209 transactions, 179, 149, so on and so forth, right? These are all individual transactions. Okay, let's look at an example. So a transaction, think of a transaction like a receipt number, right? This is a transaction hash. Think of this like a receipt number. When you get a receipt, it tells you, how much money you paid to a merchant, right? How much money was involved, what time, all the data is in your receipt number, in your receipt paper, right? Of course, we don't deal with paper, we deal with the blockchain, everything's digital. So this number will give us all the information we need, right? So what block did this come from? This transaction happened in this block, right? Happened 44 seconds ago, came from this wallet, right? So this wallet was doing something, interacted with this contract, which is the USDT contract, right? So USDT is a stable coin. So maybe someone was buying or something. Tokens were transferred, okay, accordingly for 11,000 Tether, right? So 11,000 of these USDT tokens were transferred, right? In this transaction, right? This transaction is telling us 11,000 tokens were transferred, right? From this wallet to this wallet, right? Transaction fee was $3.48, very, very cheap, right? Gas price was this amount of Ether, or 39 Gwei, right? So Gwei is, 1 Gwei is 1 billion Ether, if I remember correctly, or 1 billion Wei, sorry, there is a, so Investopedia, I believe, has a ETH gas fee denomination, right? So it would be strange to talk about gas fees in these terms, right? How much gas fees did you pay? I paid 0.0003900. It doesn't really make any sense, right? So it's a lot easier to denote it in 39 Gwei, right? Just like millimeters, centimeters. So Ethereum also has, where is it? There is a chart, I believe. There we go. Yeah. So 1 Wei is the smallest amount, which is 1, right? Kwei, Mui, Gwei, or Shannon, which is 1 billion. So 1 billion? 369. Yeah, 1 billion. 1 billion Wei, right? And Ether is, I don't know what number this is, quintillion, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 18 zeros. What comes with 18 zeros? 1 quintillion, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so these are the denominations, but we usually refer to it in Gwei, right, in terms of gas fee. So rather than reciting this big number, we just say, 39 Gwei, right, which makes a lot more sense. Okay, I won't go into the calculation for gas fees, right? Gas limit, so this was the maximum amount of gas that the person set and that was willing to spend. Gas used by transaction was only 46,000, so only 90% of this fee was used. So the remainder, about 9 to 10% would be refunded back to the user, right? Nonce is to do with the hash rate and stuff. input data. So this all has to do with more towards the coding side of things, which I will not be covering. Okay, go back to the home page. So whenever you make a transaction, you'll see your transactions here, and you can always double check, right? The only time I've had to use this is when my friends' wallets, they are afraid that they may have gotten compromised, or they're not sure where their transactions went. So it's always good to study the and understand, where your transactions are going to, so you know what's going on, and if you're not sure of anything. Now this is the home page. You can actually go here under blockchain. You can actually view all the things that we looked at earlier, right? View individual transactions, pending transactions, contract internal transactions, I'm not too familiar with. View the blocks which were created. Forked blocks, I'm not so familiar with. View uncles. Uncles, as I mentioned earlier, are stale blocks, right? So these are stale blocks, but they also get rewarded, right? They also incentivize people to mine stale blocks. Reason being because I believe it adds to network security, right? So that's good. Top accounts. So what are the top holding accounts in the world? So this account has wrapped Ether 6,000. Hold on, that's 6,231,432, right? Ether. That's a lot of Ether, right? They hold 5%, 5.35% of the entire Ethereum value on Earth. That's a lot, right? That's a lot of Ethereum, right? They don't know who they are, right? They don't put their name. Binance 7 is probably a Binance account, a Kraken account, Gemini account, Binance account. So these are all exchanges with a lot of Ethereum. The Ether Bridge on Polygon definitely has a lot of Ethereum, right? Huobi. So these are all Ethereum developer. That's cool. I wonder which one is Vitalik. Is it Vitalik's account? Vitalik Buterin 3? Possibly. I'm not so familiar what his account is. But yeah, so this is where you can see all the top account holders for Ethereum, right? How much they all have. Let's go to the last account. The last account that's listed, 10,000, right? The 10,000th account has 599 Ether, much more than me, definitely, and they have this amount of the percentage share of all Ethereum in the world. Okay, so that's the top accounts. Verified contracts. So this has to do more for, I guess, programmers who want to, understand, who understand Solidity. So Solidity is the programming language that is used on the Ethereum virtual machine, Ethereum network. Okay, if I were to click this, for example, yeah, so you can basically say that when it's verified, it means that I believe it means, you can see this little tick here, this little green tick, just like how you see on Instagram accounts or Twitter accounts that are verified. So what they do is they say that's an exact match between the code which the developer, what's the word for it? Uploaded, I believe, yeah, right? So the developer's contract and the developer's code are the same, right? They are exactly the same as each other. So that's good because everything should be open source. We don't want the developer adding lines of code, somewhere that's not meant to be there, right? Let's go back to home. Okay. So those are things you can look at here. Tokens. Okay, let's look at tokens. So ERC-20 top tokens, right? So what are ERC-20 tokens? Any token which is created on the Ethereum network. So you've got USDT, the number one token, which is unsurprising because, we also got BNB tokens, USDC, Hex, Binance, Uniswap, Chainlink, which is what we looked at earlier, right? That was the example I gave. So all these tokens are on the Ethereum network. They can be transferred to and fro on the ERC-20 network. USDT obviously has the most because it has the most volume, biggest market cap at the moment as well. Okay, ERC-20 token transfers. So this is the movement, right? These are the transfers. You can look at it in more detail if you want to. It's really for people who study the blockchain more. More than 10 million transfers. Yeah, transactions, not transfers. Transactions. Okay, ERC-721. So these are NFT tokens, right? They're unique tokens. ERC-20 tokens are cryptocurrencies, right? Whereas ERC-721, these are NFT contracts. So the Wicked Craniums must be some kind of NFT. Let's find an NFT I'm familiar with. Let's see, Rarible, Pokemon. Oh, I had a Pokemon, I think. I tried to get Pokemon. POAP, I've used that. Crypto Trunks. Let's see, there's a Crypto Punk. CryptoKitties. Okay, so CryptoKitties is one of the first few NFTs, if not the first. This is a NFT contract, right? So let's look at this line. 12455789. What's that referring to? The amount of transfers, right, in 24 hours and 7 days, right? So, I mean, obviously, if there's more, that means there's more activity on that particular contract. Let's click on it. So this is like a game where you can breed, buy, sell CryptoKitties, NFTs, right? It's a type of NFT which is a non-fungible token, so it can't be, it can't be used as currency. It's a unique token. It's a type of collectible where you can collect and breed digital cats. So this is the contract, right? The contract refers to the the code that is interacting with people. And so if obviously you don't look at the back end, right? When we play games and we use these NFT platforms, we look at this, right? This is the website that we look at, right? So this is what you would be interacting with, right? Right? When it comes to buying and stuff, I won't be interacting with it for now, right? So you interact with this site, which obviously you can understand easily. Everything's written in English. But what's behind this is actually here in the contract code. So let's click on the contract. And let's actually look at the contract code. We saw it's verified, right? So they have verified it, exact match. So this is actually the contract source code, right? You can actually, I mean, if you knew how to read, I don't know how to read this. You can actually get the entire source code, which is here. Security audit, contract creation code. Yeah, so all of this is, slightly beyond my level of knowledge. But essentially what you're looking at here is being displayed here. This is just the, human readable front end, right? So it's easy for us to understand. Whereas this one, is more for the developers, right, to look at, right? So if you look at the transactions here, I've clicked on the contract code, remember? So I'm looking at the CryptoKitties contract. I want to see what are the transactions that are happening. So create, sale, auction, create, sale, auction, create, sale. Breed with auto, right? So again, on this website, you can buy, sell, breed, bid on siring auction. Okay, you can bid, approve, right? So these are transactions that are coming in. Last transaction was 1 hour ago, right? And transaction hash. So let's look at that transaction hash. This is pending, right? So you can see here it's a pending transaction. It hasn't been added to the blockchain yet, right? It's pending, and we don't know how long. So it's been pending for how long is this? More than 2 hours? Estimated confirmation more than 2 hours. Perhaps this person paid very little gas, maybe, right? 18 Gwei, yeah, that's quite low. Gas price was 18 Gwei, right? So if you want to see, this is pretty low. Remember what I said about low transactions? So this is how you can see the relationship, right? This is a low transaction. It's still being processed, right? It's pending. How do we know that it's low? If you look here, right? What's the 24 is the low, right? 24 is already low. Anything lower than that, probably be stuck for a long time. This person put 18 Gwei, right? If you look at transactions, so TX Street, sorry, TXT Street, transaction street, right? So this person's obviously interacting with the contract. Probably, I guess they're buying something. I forgot what the contract interaction was. They're buying. Okay. Anyway, whatever they're doing, they're only paying 18 Gwei, right? Which means that their transaction, so 41 gets processed the first, 35, 33, 28. Let's look for 18. 18 is over here, right? So this person's transaction is stuck somewhere here, right? As you can see here, it says low fee line, right? So yeah, obviously this person should have paid more if they wanted it. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, right? Okay, so that goes to the same page. Anyway, so that's how you visualize it. Obviously, it's easier to visualize it this way, but once you get used to looking at this kind of layout, you understand what's going on, right? That's going to be pending for a while. So anyway, that's the ERC-721 top tokens and so on. So this has to do with NFTs, right? And ERC-20 tokens are to do with the standard cryptocurrency tokens that we refer to. Resources, let's look at charts and stats. So what kind of charts does Etherscan offer? Ether daily price, is it Ether? I usually say Ether. It's like, into the Ether, it sounds more mystical. So I think we looked at this earlier, right? The daily price of Ethereum, right? Again, you can zoom in on here to see the price up and down. I'm not usually too bothered by it because I believe it will grow in the future. Total supply and market cap, right? So you can see from this chart, right? Genesis. Now, what is Genesis? Genesis refers to the first block that was mined and also the crowd sale of tokens that were done. You can see here, 60 million crowd sale, 12 million other. So these were essentially the first Ethereum tokens that were created, mined, and either given to the developers or sold to raise funds for the whole Ethereum, community, and that holds about 61% of all the Ethereum that has been created so far. Block rewards are 35% of the entire Ethereum network. So the Genesis rewards don't change, right? That's going to be standard forever, right? That number is not going to change. But the mining block rewards can always increase, and then you get a little bit for uncle rewards as well. How much Ethereum is rewarded for uncle blocks, right? Current total supply of Ethereum is this amount: 116 billion 384 million. 116,384,775. In US dollars, what's the value right now? In Bitcoin value, what is it right now? And so on and so forth. Yeah, so that basically covers the Ethereum part. Under resources. Now, there are a lot of other charts and statistics you can look at. Market capitalization, growth supply. As you can see, Ethereum has just been steadily growing over time. Can I click on this? I can. Taking a bit of time to load. Right? Blockchain data, daily transactions, unique addresses, how many new addresses are being created on Ethereum, average size of a block, daily amount of gas being used. I mean, all the charts are fairly all moving sort of in the same direction, I would say. Right? Showing us there's a lot of activity on the network. There's a lot of data here. Node tracker. Which country has the most number of nodes? Not sure why my internet's a bit slow. That's okay. Top 25 miners. Lots of data here for people who like data. Right? Oh, so we can see here top 10 countries: United States, right? Germany, France, Singapore. Oh, Singapore, wow, our neighbors, right? In the last 24 hours, 39% is in United States. So the more countries that we have, and the more distributed that this is better for blockchain in general, right? Because we want it to be as decentralized. We don't want a single place to have more than 50% of the network power, right? Because then they can launch an attack. All right, so hopefully one day Malaysians can put us on the map. How many Malaysians? We got 7. Okay, 7 in Malaysia. Okay, that's not too bad, right? Zoom out. Okay, so what are the top statistics? What top statistics do we have? Top ETH sender, Binance 14. So whoever this is has been sending the most amount of ETH. Top unique sender, USDT. Okay, no surprises there. Billions of USDT are minted every so often. Out of thin air, some people say. Top miners, Ethermine, so on and so forth. What other resources do we have? Ethereum directory. Okay, what's that? Okay, so this lists out, right? For example, you're looking for an exchange. Click on exchange, and it lists out a variety of exchanges that you can choose from, right? I use Binance. I use what else? I use Liquid. I use Luno, right? Luno is the first cryptocurrency exchange to get licensed and regulated in Malaysia. Right? Good. So that's good for people to, I guess, look for good exchanges. So there are crypto exchanges, DEXs, and fiat exchanges. So crypto exchanges are basically exchanges that deal only with cryptocurrencies, right? Preferably only cryptocurrencies. DEXs are decentralized exchanges, right? So you will not find Ringgit Malaysia listed on any of these, right? The most popular is, of course, Uniswap, right? I believe is the first one, I think, yeah, has the most volume. Fiat exchanges are exchanges that allow you to deal with on-ramping of fiat, right? They call it on-ramp, meaning you can, so Luno, for example, in Luno, you can connect your local bank account to your Malaysian Luno account and straight away directly transfer money. You can't do that on a crypto exchange, and you can't do that on a DEX, right? Wallets, so there are GUI wallets. So these are wallets. I use MetaMask, for example, right? You can just connect this to Google Chrome or your browser. It's part of a browser extension, right? Yeah, any other wallets that you want to use as well? Right? Hardware wallets, typically, Ledger is a very popular one. Trezor, very popular. I'm not so familiar with the others. All wallets, and I will just list out all the wallets that you have, right? So notice that even though just added, what has just been added? Coinbase, okay, yeah. I would stick with the best few wallets, right? I wouldn't try not to Don't play around with unknown wallets. Okay, stick to things like MetaMask, that's pretty decent, and Trezor, Ledger, those are good. Even though you'll notice that under cryptocurrency exchanges, you do have wallets. Crypto exchanges give you wallets. DEXs don't give you wallets. You need a wallet from here to interact with the DEX, like MetaMask. But cryptocurrency exchanges, they actually make wallets for you, right? They create a wallet, and even though it's not listed here, they do have wallets here, right? Listing and prices. Okay, so these are the websites that you can go to get up-to-date information on listing, right? So CoinGecko lists tokens. ICO Bench, I have not used before. CoinMarketCap, another popular one. So CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap are the two popular ones I use. CoinMarketCap, for example, when I want to know the next airdrop, right, free tokens coming in. CoinGecko tells me all, the latest tokens that are coming onto the platform. I can also watch prices and stuff like that. News and forums. So where do I want to get the most up-to-date news? Cointelegraph is very popular, right? CoinDesk also very popular. I use those two. Events. What events are happening, right? EDC Con 2018. Okay, these are all slightly outdated, right? So they haven't updated it yet. Learning resources. Where can you learn about Bitcoin and blockchain? Beginner's Guide to Ethereum, Binance Research, and so on and so forth. Smart contracts for more advanced users. So these have to do with anything to do with giving you information about smart contracts and so on and so forth. Slightly beyond my level of knowledge. Mining, how do you join a pool and start mining? So that's pretty useful, right? 2Miners, coin miners, Ant pool, I've heard of that one. So, Ethermine, right? So Ethermine was or Ethermine rather, was the biggest mining pool that we saw. Start mining, you can connect your wallet, and I believe you just connect your computer to it, and I believe they settle it for you. I think it's cloud mining. I could be wrong. I think it's cloud mining, but I could be wrong. I don't do mining, so I can't really comment. Oops, sorry. I don't do mining myself, so I can't really comment too much on that. And other resources, let's see what other resources there are. So some grant programs, cryptocurrency jobs, if you're looking for them, crypto careers, and so on and so forth. So tools, right? These are more for developers. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers most of the stuff here. Oh, explore dApps. Right, so these are decentralized applications. Like CryptoKitties is a gaming application. These are mostly games. Nexo is a yield-generating interest wallet. Ethereum name service. Decentraland is another sort of like you can buy land and stuff like that. Okay. Yield farms. Okay, that's always fun to look at. Okay, due to the centralized nature of blockchains, all projects listed below are subject to high market risk volatility and potential rug pulls, right? So that happens a lot. I've been through it before. These are all the yield farms that are listed here. Not sure if they have a trust score. Do they have a trust score? I don't think they do have one. You can submit your project if you have an upcoming yield farm, right? These are going to be launched soon. Let's see if there's a yield farm here I recognize. There are a lot. I mean, there's a yield farm every 5 minutes there's another yield farm popping up somewhere. So Satan Finance, they come up with all sorts of funny names, these farms. Some of them are legit, of course, but you have to be careful. Airdrops, okay, that's fun. Airdrops, again, you have to be aware of the risk. So these are projects that are giving out free tokens. So airdrops are basically giving out free tokens, but you have to be careful, to make sure that these are, legit projects and not just some random projects. I've heard of Gitcoin. My friend Darren was talking about Gitcoin on his Telegram. You can read more about it. I won't go into the details. More, okay, so there are a lot of stuff here. APIs, for developers, DeFi, trackers, explore in detail, some more tools coming up. So lots and lots of stuff. You can also create an account and sign in. I have not yet done so. And that's pretty much it. If you're, looking for more stuff, they have a knowledge base over here, community. Knowledge base, newsletter, network status, discuss comments. These are the comments on transactions. Other products are here. You can learn more about the company here as well, and so on and so forth. Right? So knowledge base, I always like knowledge bases because that's where you learn all the stuff that you need to know. FAQs, announcements, tutorials, developer, token dApp, blog, general, and some stuff coming up soon. Okay, so that's basically all you need to know. That's where you can read all the information about. There's a lot of free stuff online. Oh, and last but not the least, donation, right? So you can donate to Etherscan, right, for doing the amazing service they do. They've got 19 Ethers, right? So that's a lot. People have been donating 0.02, 0.01, 0.004, and oh wow, look, someone donated 1 Ether. Very, very generous. So if you look at this, so let's say I want to find out who donated 1 Ether, right? You guys remember how to read it? So the first one is the transaction hash. That's like the receipt, right? And where did it come from? So I can look at the receipt or I can look at the address that it came from. So let's just say I look at the receipt first. So 1 Ether here, 59 days ago, I look at this transaction hash. So all the information I need to know about that transaction is here. It was a successful transaction, it was in this block, right, 59 days ago, from this wallet. So this was the wallet that sent it to this wallet, which is the Etherscan donate wallet, as we know. Right, 1 Ether was sent, transaction fee was $5, gas price was that 127 Gray, so very high gas price. And Ether's price at the time was 2,000, right, when you sent, whoever sent this. So let's look at this person's wallet. This person, do they have a lot of ETH? Right, they've got a balance of 2 ETH, right, currently at this value, right, a market price. Now you might say, wow, how could you show people your balance? Well, I don't know who this person is, right? I have no idea. That person is a mystery to me. I know the Binance account, but I don't know that person's account, right? So you can see all the transactions that they're doing, Uniswap, USDC, liquidity pools, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that gives you a basic understanding of the Etherscan website. Hope now you understand how to briefly look at it and understand what's going on. And hopefully this will help you in the world of cryptocurrency, right? Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below.